Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off.
Do you ever feel like life is a never-ending series of lessons while you try to find purpose, meaning, and answers? I am Vanessa Fontana, the host of Figuring Shit Out, a podcast where we undertake self-help, coming of age, and healing. As I live my 20s in New York City figuring shit out myself, I've realized that if you spend your whole life trying to get your act together, you don't have a life. You have an act. On Figuring Shit Out, every Sunday, you get to normalize the journey of not knowing and be guided into living your life with more intention and ease.
Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Welcome to the Michael Unbroken podcast. I'm Michael Anthony, author, speaker, coach, mentor, and advocate for adult survivors of childhood trauma. And in this podcast, I'm going to be bringing you the best of what I understand about healing trauma, overcoming our past, and ultimately becoming the hero of our own story. This podcast is not a replacement for mental health, but instead, think of it as a companion to help guide you into what is next in your life. My friend, thank you so much for being here with me. Do me a favor before we get started. Hit subscribe, like, comment, leave a review, tell a friend about it. And until next time, my friend, be unbroken. Let's get into the show. Hey, what's up, my friend? Before we get into today's episode, just want to take a moment of your time and tell you about the 30-day Think Unbroken small group trauma healing challenge. What I've done is taken the best of everything that I've learned over the last few years of being a trauma-informed coach, through my own certification processes, through my own trauma healing journey, and more, and compiled it into the most in-depth 30-day challenge that's ever existed in healing trauma. And I want to invite you to it. If you go to healtraumacoach.com, there's more information, but as a quick overview, you're going to step into not only learning the baseline of healing through the 6 principles of healing trauma, but the 6 pillars of healing trauma through reframing, through creating self-love, through understanding personal boundaries, through creating wants, needs, and interests, through understanding your ACE score and how that impacts you, including the science of trauma, and more. And I created this challenge because I want us to come together as a group and as a community. And one of the things really special about this 30-day small group coaching challenge is not only will you go live with me weekly as we go into the depths of healing trauma, but also you're going to be assigned to anonymous teams where you can remain anonymous and have support and have community. Think of it like a digital support group, but you don't have to show your face or say your name. One of the reasons that I did that is because in my own journey, the most powerful moments that I had were within these groups, and I want to give that to you as well. So I invite you to check out healtraumacoach.com. The first session starts on April 1st. I'm only allowing a handful of people into this first session. So if you're curious and you want to know more, check out healtraumacoach.com, and I will see you in the challenge. World, Michael Unbroken here, author, speaker, coach, and advocate for adult survivors of childhood trauma. Hey guys, I hope that you're doing well. I am currently traveling, so a little bit of a different setup than usual. I guess I'm always really traveling, but normally I try to record the podcast from the studio so that when we get here, you kind of have that continuity. So forgive me for the difference. And if you're just listening to this, you have no idea anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just got done doing an Instagram live and sharing some things and thinking about really, I think the most profound thing happening in my life right now is this idea of committing. And what I mean by that is putting yourself in a position where you're making decisions and then creating action around those decisions without trying to figure out the space in between. Now look, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when you go, all right, I'm committing, I'm all in, I'm going to go for it, it's not going to work out. But you're going to learn, you're going to have data points, you're going to have lessons from these moments in which you took a risk that you're going to be able to carry on with you into what's next in your life. So often we get caught up in this space of trying to figure out all the details before we take the first step. And you know as well as I do that every time that you sit and try to figure out all the details, it never works out. Like every time that you do that, something happens, something gets in the way, you don't have all the plans, there's a breakdown in the system, so on and so forth, and then you never take that step. And as I think about this and the impact that it's had on my life, this idea of committing and then figuring it out, when I was young, when I was in my teens and my 20s, people all the time would tell me, Michael, you're crazy. You're just going to do that. You're going to try that thing. You're going to take that risk. And I was always just like, yeah, fuck it. Like, why not? Why not take the risk? Why not try the thing? Because you don't know what's going to happen on the other side of it. And I would put myself in, I'm not going to lie, some very precarious situations. You know, I remember one time I was in this job like people would kill for, and it wasn't for me. I got there and I thought it was for me, and then it turned out it wasn't for me, and I jumped ship and I started my first business. And for 3 years I suffered, like for real suffered. Like it was so incredibly hard, and it wiped me out financially, and it put me in this weird position where I had to go and get another job to support it while I was growing another business, and I was overcommitted, right? So now I'm in this place where I'm thinking about those moments and going, oh shit, I was overcommitted. And because of that, I was stretched too thin. And because of that, I wasn't able to be successful in any of the avenues in which I was trying to operate. So I think about commitment in this. Can you get singularly focused on one task, one goal, one idea, one thing that can change your life? And I've mentioned this before, and if you've listened to this for any amount of time, you know how I feel. Sometimes you have to take a risk and challenge yourself to doing incredibly uncomfortable things so that on the backside that you grow. If you don't take risk, if you don't do hard things, if you don't invest in yourself, like, things aren't going to change. This year, just for full transparency, I'm investing more money into myself in 1 year than most people do in an entire lifetime. And this is just a continuation of what I've always done. When I go and look at any of the personal growth development conferences, getting Franklin Covey certified, going through the Sigma 6 black belt bullshit, which I can't even stand that. It's a whole nother conversation. And then, like, now getting certifications from the leading experts in trauma, from Pete Walker to Bessel van der Kolk and everybody in between, constantly committing to getting better every day. And that commitment applies across the board. Like, how do you invest in yourself to make your life better at every opportunity? People are so caught up about money, and that being the barrier to whether or not they're able to step into their life with full power and authenticity and growth and potential. And they look at it and they go, well, there's money involved, so it's too risky. I know one thing about life, and a former partner told me this, and it was super important to me, and it changed the way that I think about it. Money will always come back to you when you invest in yourself first. Money will always come back to you when you invest in yourself first. And so whether you're doing a high ticket coaching program, or whether you're doing, these funnel challenges, or listening to this podcast, whatever, like, you're investing in yourself, you're giving yourself that. And to think, like, so I started the coaching challenge, right? I started this in-depth program that's on the backside of the book. Right. So if you've read Think Unbroken and Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, I super appreciate you, because that book was incredibly detailed and dense and difficult to write, and only the baseline. It's literally only the baseline. And so I sat with that and I was like, wait a second. If Think Unbroken is only the baseline and that's not really enough, because if I wanted to put everything in there, it'd be 700 pages long and no one would ever read it. I thought to myself, okay, what can I do to make this better? How can I really create impact in people's lives? And I said, oh, of course, I'm going to run a course. Why? Why not? That makes perfect sense. I'm going to commit to that. I'm just going to figure it out on the way. I'm going to create a launch date. I'm going to tell everybody about it. And then I'm going to have 50 people join my first course without a course existing. Now, of course, at the time, they didn't know that. So side note, now you know. But at the end of it, every single one of them, I got testimonials. You can go and check out healtraumacoach.com. It is all there, right? The testimonials of their experience. Have you read my book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma? If you haven't, then now is the time, because I am giving away free copies of my book, Think Unbroken, for the rest of the year. All you have to do is go to traumahealingbook.com to get your free copy. The reality is that as I think about the world and where we are right now with things, it is more important than ever, if we are going to step onto the path of healing generational trauma together, that we do it through education. And when I wrote my book, I never expected it to become an international bestseller. I certainly didn't expect it to sell thousands and thousands of copies as it has. And the one thing that I know to be true about this experience is that the more people that read it, the more impact we can have on the world. And so I invite you to read it for free at traumahealingbook.com. I only ask that you cover the shipping and handling. And the reason is because, I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a millionaire, and I would go into debt if I gave everyone in the world a free copy of my book. So I'll cover the book. You cover the shipping and handling. You grab your copy at traumahealingbook.com. And I'm so excited to have you on this journey and this mission to think unbroken. Experience are game-changing and life-changing for them. Because in just as much as I committed, first off, to create an immense amount of value, to make sure that on the backside of this course, something would be different, they committed financially to changing their life. We are so caught up on $97, $57, $500, $10,000. I mean, I literally just, and this is not a flex. I swear to God, it's not. I came from poverty. I was money illiterate for the vast majority of my life. And I recently invested $20,000 into a program. And that is so that I can learn and grow and become better. And there are people who are terrified to invest $90 or $50 or $7 because they're afraid to commit to the possibility that on the backside of the action, their life might be different. And if you are one of those people, you have to start changing the narrative that you have with yourself about committing to possibility. Because if money is going to be the thing that's keeping you from getting to where you want to go, you're never going to go anywhere, because there will never be enough money. There will never be enough money. I'm telling you right now, I've made fucking $3 an hour and I've made $300 an hour. And everywhere in between, it hasn't mattered, because there was always that thought of there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. And today, I'll tell you this, I am the most successful I've ever been in my life at 35 and a half, almost 36 years old. Most successful I've ever been in my life. And I am dead broke because I invest every penny back into learning. Every single penny I make. Every single penny goes back into my health, my well-being, my mental, emotional, and physical well-being. I am committed to being the best version of Michael that I can be in everything that I do. And I can promise you that there was a time when I lived in such a poor mentality about money that I only bought clothes from the Goodwill. That's it. Because I was like, fuck, I'm not paying $25 for a shirt. And what I knew then is totally different what I know now. Now, of course, I'm still, like, real talk, I'm cheap ass. Like, to me, I'm not going to spend $50 for a shirt unless it's a nice, like, dress up shirt, which I have done. I'm going to put that money into my education. I didn't go to college. I have no college degree. I didn't graduate high school on time. I can barely fucking read or write. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever it takes. I ask you guys this all the time. What are you willing to do to have the life that you want to have? And that means, for me, what am I willing to do to have the life that I want to have? Investing in myself entirely and fully, and so committed to my healing journey that I put everything on the line for it. Everything. Because if you're not willing to do what it takes, then on the backside, you don't get to make any excuses. And I had someone message me the other day, and they were like, $97 is too much for this course. And I was like, how much is too much for the rest of your life? $500, $1,000, $20,000, doesn't matter. Like, when you think about this, the money you can always get back. I promise you, you heal trauma, you heal your body, your mental, physical, emotional, you will make more money than you ever have in your life. But money is not the precursor to what I consider to be satiation. Money is not the precursor to growth. Money is not the precursor to anything. Money is a tool. It is only a tool to get from where you are to where you want to go. And many of us, me included, I fucking put my hand in this pile for sure, have had a very traumatic relationship with money. A lot of the experiences that I had as a child, being in poverty and being homeless and only wearing Goodwill shoes and sometimes only wearing clothes from the church and drinking powdered milk. If you haven't had powdered milk, then you're not poor. I promise you, you've never been poor. And we would drink this powdered milk and this pantry food and literally government cheese and live in HUD housing and the whole nine. The whole nine. And so none of this is a flex, guys. None of that. I swear to God. I'm just making a point. When you change your relationship with how you invest in yourself, your life will be different because you're putting yourself first. And it's easy to be in this feast or fathom mentality, whereas you look at money and you go, man, I can't, I shouldn't, I better not. That $97, well, guess what? Chances are you're using Netflix and Spotify and Uber and going to Starbucks and paying for shit that you don't need. But when you are faced with investing in yourself to create change in your life, you're hesitant. You really need to ask yourself what the fuck is going on there. I mean, I remember at one point I turned off. There was no subscriptions. I was eating fucking ramen noodles 5 years ago. 5 years ago even, because I was investing all of my money into myself. At that point, it was my physical health. I was spending a tremendous amount of time and effort and energy and money into physical therapy, into acupuncture, into deep tissue massage, which, I mean, I used to lay on this table and just cry, like all of the pain getting removed from my body. And I made a decision. I made a choice to commit to myself. And so what I want you to think about moving forward, not only in this moment, but for the rest of your life, is how committed are you to your life? Like, how committed are you actually to your life and to what is next? Because if you're not fully committed, nothing is going to change. Action, my friends, is the difference between where you are and where you want to go. So I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me as usual. I appreciate you so much. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share this with a friend, tell somebody. Please check out healtraumacoach.com. We're about to start the next round of the community coaching program. I promise you that investment will change your life. Go watch the testimonial videos. These people are not paid. They're not fucking actors. These are people who went through this program whose life is now different. So, my friend, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day and be unbroken. I'll see ya. Thank you so much for hanging out today with the Michael Unbroken podcast. Before we head off, do me a favor, please. Hit that like or subscribe button, leave a comment or review, and tell a friend. It would mean the world to me. And just so you know, I read every single review. I listen to your questions. And if you need to, you can reach out to me directly anywhere on social media at Michael Unbroken, or email me directly to michael@thinkunbroken.com. Remember, my friend, though trauma may be our foundation, it is not our future. Until next time, be unbroken. I'll see ya. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.